4th, 2022. Let's get on with it. Today, what I'm going to cover is going over the market precap for the S&P, the ES futures, which I trade, and then the S&P 500 if you trade the actual ETF. And from there, we're going to go into following up from yesterday. Yesterday, we looked at understanding basically how our program works, and then just setting the foundation. And today, what we're going to be looking at is what's called well-formed outcomes. And if you haven't watched the video from yesterday, please do watch that. But if not, we'll do a little bit of a recap, and we'll jump into the mental preparation that we're building over the course of these 12 days that I give a snippet of that is part of my 12-week program. So without much ado, let's dive in. So when I was looking at the charts this morning, clearly we've hit all-time highs today, over 4,800. And if you see here on the image, we hit the high in November of just around 47.30. We retraced to around the 38.2% fib level before continuing on this trend up in the last 6 weeks or so. And that gives me a very high confidence that we're going to hit this 127% level target of 48.50. Again, that may not happen today. That may not happen this week, but there's a high likelihood of that happening given my back testing that I've done over the last couple years. Potential longs then. We don't want to just enter long just because we think it's going to go long. Yeah, we want to make sure that the market gives us the right price, the right opportunity for us to go long. And of course, a big part of that is risk management, account sizing, position sizing, excuse me, based on your account size. So potential long is I'm going to allow the price to pump up to 48.30, and that may or may not happen today. And before a retrace opportunity to 4,800 to go long towards our 48.50 target. We want to also ensure that the way that I trade, especially, is we want to ensure that the price is above the VWAP, which is the volume weighted average price. It's not displaying on this chart, but when I'm looking at the the higher fidelity chart is the lower fidelity. If I'm looking at the lower time frame chart, for example, the 15-minute or the 5-minute chart, I want to make sure that I'm above the VWAP if I'm going long. Potential shorts is if price shows weakness and falls back below the overnight low of 47.80, then again, we're not going to just follow that momentum. We want to wait for a retrace and enter at the precise price that we feel gives us the best opportunity to go long, hop onto that trade for it to go towards our target. So we're wait for a retracement towards a target of 47.20. And where am I getting this target of 47.20? If I'm looking at the chart here, we've had some really high volume nodes around 47.14, and then also at 47.50. So that's my key levels here. But before we just set the target at 47.14, we want to make sure that if there's a lot of buying pressure there, that we do get filled. And so I like to give myself a little bit of a leeway when I'm setting these targets and not setting it exactly at the high volume nodes. And by a high volume node, I mean a price where there's a lot of volume that was traded. All right. There's that. And now we get into the mental preparation side, which we are looking to build up over the next 3 weeks if you're following along on this journey. So first things first, let's go ahead and take 3 deep breaths in and out. And with each breath in, take in the positive energy around you. And with each breath out, release any negativity, stress, tension that you may be holding within. So one of the things we talked about yesterday is to bring to mind an area of your life that you would like to see changes in. And what we talked about yesterday is, instead of building on a shaky foundation, let's do our best to close the loop, especially at the beginning of the year, right? We're so motivated to make resolutions with ourselves, to have change happen in our lives, yeah. But very often we continue to bring in the past into the new, and that just creates more noise, and that creates more confusion in our day-to-day. So what I asked you guys to do yesterday is to clean the slate and really pick what areas of your life you want to see a change in, and understand how that could potentially look like. And today we're going to build on that by what's called well-formed outcomes. This is something that I learned from our NLP practice offshoot called SelfConcept. So bring to mind an area, and this could be something as broad as my health, my career, my finances, my relationships, or it could be something very specific, like for me, just my trading, or okay, just I'm like, for example, I'm a tennis player. Okay, so specifically in my tennis game, or like whenever I talk to my parents, like just in that specific context, like I want to see an outcome. Whatever it is, pick an area that you want to see changes in, and think of a goal to achieve in the next 1 to 3 months. Think of a goal that is not too far away, but also not just like a to-do in the next couple days. Yeah. So think of something that you want to achieve in the next 1 to 3 months, and ask yourself, what do you really want in this area of your life? Not what do you not want. Many people say, I don't want to get into arguments with my family, or like, I don't want to keep having FOMO when I trade, or I don't want to sabotage myself whenever I do this or do that, whatever. Like, not what you don't want, but really ask yourself, what do you want instead? If you don't want this, what do you want instead? And get clear to what that potentially is. The next question to ask yourself is, how will I know I have gotten it? What would tell me that I am on track to getting that outcome that I want? It could be like, for example, for trading, I will know I have gotten it when I see that I am rating my execution on my trades a 3 or a 4 out of 5 at least, right? So you are focusing on the process and not the outcome specifically, but you're on track because you are executing properly. Another example could be, I will know when I don't have to walk away or yell when I am speaking with my family or with my girlfriend, whatever it is. So what's something that will tell you that you're on track? That you not necessarily reach the goal, but you're on track, that you're moving towards that outcome. Next is a very important question. What is important about this outcome for me specifically? What will it really do for me? So, for example, if I'm not yelling, or if I'm not losing my not losing control of my emotions, what's important to me is that I know that I will trust myself. What's important to me is that I will know that I am in control of my emotions. What will that do for me? That will give me peace of mind, knowing that I can control how I feel for any situation. What's important to me uh, about hitting my trading goals? Well, what it will do for me will be one, it will give me more of a sense of accomplishment. It will give me a sense that I am focused and that I am persistent in achieving my goals, because those are important for me, persistence and accomplishment. So just think about what's important to you about that. And then next, this is really cool if you're able to do it right. What's the new movie that you will be watching? What is the new movie that you'll be watching, and what will you be seeing and hearing in that movie? This is one of the things that we talk about in NLP, which is to disassociate from yourself. So basically, the idea is you can be in your point of view when you're visualizing in the past and the future and all that. But what can really help is if you disassociate, if you remove yourself from your awareness that is centered in your body, and you're watching a movie of yourself. And as you do this, you have a different perspective. You have a more objective perspective. You have maybe even a more compassionate perspective, right? So what's the movie that you'll be watching? What are you seeing and hearing? Next, what's a deadline that you can realistically set, but that's something that will stretch you for this goal? Yeah. What's a deadline that you can have for this goal? And try to aim within the 1 to 3 months time frame. But if you have a goal that is going to take longer, like 6 months, 1 year, or something even shorter, the next couple of weeks, that's fine too. But try to stretch your goal. Try to make it something that it's like, oh man, I don't know if I can really hit that in like 1 month, or I don't know if I can really do that in 3 months. Great. That's the way you should be feeling now. Next question is, what will I have to become in order to achieve this outcome? What internal resources do I need? And by resources, I mean specific qualities that you can draw upon for that specific context. Yeah. So for example, it could be, oh, I need more patience, or, oh, I need more compassion, or I need to be more gentle. So what internal resources do you need to help you achieve that outcome? Who will you need to be? And we're not going to cover this in this week's I guess programs, you could say, in this week's lives. But keep track of if you feel any resistance in your body. Yeah, keep track of if you feel anything that you feel, oh, man, like, I don't know if I can really do this, or yeah, like I want to, but like I also need to like consider this, whatever it is, like that's potentially creating some kind of internal friction with you. Yeah, just keep a note of this. Tomorrow, what we're going to be doing is building on actually the question that I asked in the middle of this session, which is, what's important to me about this outcome? What will it do for me? Because this specific question can help us dig really into what drives the outcomes that we want. At the end of the day, any outcome that we have may or may not fulfill us. We work so hard, we're like, oh, I want that new job, I want, people to like me, like I want followers, whatever the case is, we want like a specific outcome. That's fine. But the problem becomes when we are not clear why that outcome is important to us in the first place. And if we're not clear, then what happens? Then we get into a cycle of pursuing the next goal, hoping that something will fulfill us deeply, right? So the idea is understanding what drives the outcomes that we want in any area of our life. And if we're able to understand what is a value, these things are called values, yeah? What is a value that I need to embody to fulfill my sense of who I think I am, then we go about and do the things, be the things that we know we can be without needing the validation of achieving a specific outcome. So a good example of this is me doing these lives, right? The reason I wasn't doing this before was because I was not connected to the values that really drive me. And I was more connected to the fears around doing this in the first place. I was connected to, what if people like me? What if like I say something that I later, I'm like, shit, I shouldn't have said that, or like what if I like make a fool out of myself, whatever, or like what if people don't know what I'm doing, and then now I'm like coming out and saying that I'm doing this, like, oh, like, what will people say, right? And I was more connected to that, and I was preventing that from what my real value is of why I wanted to do something like this in the first place, which is to feel connection, right? To feel like I can add value to people's lives, to feel like I have something that people would see as something that would be beneficial to them, right? Connection was a big piece for me. Connection was a big value for me. And when I was more driven by connection and not necessarily driven by, okay, I need to have this many followers, I need to have this many people in my Facebook group, I need to like make this much money, whatever the case is, all that stripped away. And even the reason that I'm trading in the first place is for connection, because I am doing trading not just for my dreams and whatever I want to do for me and my family, but so that I can build a fund, that I can invest in people that are doing really cool things. And a part of that is coaching, right? I want to be able to coach people as well. And so when I started putting coaching alongside trading as well as to what I want to do in my future career, which I'm already working up to doing that, then it became clear that, oh, I need to start, or I want to start doing this because it will fulfill my value, my deep internal value of connection. And if I'm fulfilling that, it does not matter what specific outcomes that I set. I know that I will be acting in a way that is in accordance with who I believe I am. I have talked a lot today. Anyways, I hope that was useful. And I would love to hear feedback, any advice that you have for me. Again, as I said, we're always iterating, always trying to make this better. And any way in which I can serve you guys better, I'm always looking to hear. So I hope this was useful. I hope you guys have an outstanding day ahead, because I know I will. It is snowing / icy today in Kansas City. So if you are in a place where there's snow and ice, be careful out there. Stay warm. And if you aren't, kind of jealous, but that's okay. We get on with it. Anyways, take care, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.